Hi Stampers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to show you a really fun bookmark card that I made using the Cheerful Daisies bundle. It's a bundle that I've really enjoyed playing with, and I have some really good videos on this bundle, so check out my other videos in this series. So the card is really fun. It's got this little hidden pocket. Well, it's not hidden, but it's a pocket, and you have a fun bookmark. And then but it also opens up like a regular card. So I actually recently, maybe 3 weeks ago, did a video with this same design using the Autumn Leaves bundle, which was beautiful and got a lot of likes and people really enjoyed it. But I realized afterwards, based on comments, that I forgot to tell you how I cut it out. So I want to do that with this card. I'll go a little more slowly this time and show you exactly how I did it. So first of all, let's get to the cutting. The base of this card is simply, I took a piece of basic white cardstock and I scored it at 4 1/4. So make sure you use the right blade when you do that. It's the lighter one. And then I cut it at 5 1/2. So that's usually, most of my cards are 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, so that's what this is. All right, then this next piece of the background color, which in this case is boho blue, is now 8 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and we're going to score it at 2 inches and 4 inches from the left. So score it at 2 inches. Lighter blade again, score it at 4 inches. Now is where the magic comes in. We're going to take a pencil, if I can find one, and I just literally had one. Here we go, had it here. All right, so now we're going to measure up 2 inches on the left hand side. So here's my ruler. I'm going 2 inches up. I'm going to put a little dot there, and now I'm going to cut it diagonally from that dot to the middle fold, so 4 inches in. So let's do that. So you want to line it up with the center of this black tray. So that goes there, and that goes there. And we'll cut it. Now, you don't want to throw this away. You're going to use it for a guide. But that's this, and it will Mountain Valley fold. That, look, it looks like, or Z fold, I guess. Well, Mountain Valley. Z, whatever, they're the same. All right, so I'm going to set that aside. I'm done with that. And next I am going to take a 2-inch strip, if I can find it. Everything's disappearing. Oh, geez. All right, 2 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And this time I'm using a coordinating color, which in this case is copper clay. Looks really good with boho blue. Now I'm taking this, remember I said we're going to use it as a guide, and I'm going to just flip it over and draw a line. I'm lining these up, and I'm going to draw a line here. And then I'm going to cut it there. And the reason I'm flipping it over to do that is so you won't see my pencil mark, because it's going to go this way. So let's do that. You always want the darker one. And I'm just lining up that pencil mark in the tray. And this is garbage. So this is the front side of that. All right. So now I want to do the bookmark itself. And so for that, that's 1 1/2 inches by 5 inches. in the copper clay, and then in the boho blue it's 1 by 4¼ inches. And I'm just going to flip this over this way when I glue it down, and that way you won't see my pencil marks. All right, so to do this now, get this out of the way. I'm going to take my very best trio punch, and just want to make sure you're going the right way with this, which is this way, because you want it to be curved at the top. If you go this way, it'll go the other way, and that's not what I want for this card. All right, so one thing about this trio punch is you don't want to just like press on the side. You want to press in the middle, and it goes down a whole lot easier. So I'm just pressing in the middle, and it goes down super easy. Now I'm just going to flip it over to get the other side so that it'll be a mirror image. You don't want to rotate it, and there it is. Now, honestly, for me, the hardest thing to do now is to get this little thing in the center. See, there's like a line here, so you can see it. And you want to try to put that in the center of your card and make sure that it's flat against the top and push it down. And so see, I didn't really do, every time I managed to get it off, but all I do is I stick it back in, and I'm just going to move it over a tad, just a hair, and that way it'll just be a longer line, but at least it looks good. So that's my little trick, because I don't think I've ever cut one out totally right. I just somehow I'm not able to. All right, so we are cut and ready to go. So I think the first thing I want to do is use this Trust in the Lord with All Your Heart, which the name of the stamp set is, I'll put it in the notes. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. And I'm using my memento pad. Since this is kind of large, I prefer to do the larger ones upside down and tap them so I can see that it's fully inked. And it is. And I'm going to stamp this on the blue towards the top. And there we go. So that's it for that. And really I could glue it down, but I'm going to glue everything down together. I'm just going to set that aside for now. Now I'm going to do the flowers. So to do that, I used white embossing powder. Now you could have actually stamped it in copper clay with the background, this background here, but I was just trying to do it a little bit quicker and easier, so I'm just going to do the outline on copper clay, and I thought it was really pretty. So one thing I did do to speed it up was I put 2 flowers together, because we're actually going to need 4 of them. And I'm inking it with Versamark, and I'll do it again. And I just remembered I should have used my embossing buddy first. White is always really bad about having strays, so I hope this looks okay. All right, so that's it. Stamped them twice, and oh, now I want to do this little center. So using Versamark still, and I'm going to go ahead and do the center now. And that's probably gonna, that's too close together, so whoops. The good news is I've already cut them out, some out, so don't do that when you do it. I just was running out of room down there. All right, so now I'm going to take my white embossing powder and my tray, and I'll just pour it on generously. The nice thing about this tray is you can just dump the powder into it and then dump it back into your container. And oh good, there aren't that many strays. So that looks good. And now I'll take my embossing gun and I'm going to heat set that. look like this. And off we go. Embossing, if you've never done it before, is really a lot of fun because it turns, see how it's turning colors, and that means that it's done. You want to make sure that you totally heat set it, because if you don't, that powder will rub right off, and that's kind of sad. So you just want to make sure you heat set it all the way, that it turns shiny. But at the same time, you don't want to leave it on too long, or you could literally burn it. So don't do that. And I feel like white is actually the worst for burning, if you're just like cooking it to death. All right, so the next thing you would do is take your 1 tray and the 2 thin plate and the 3 plate, and set your paper down. Put these on. Now these, if you notice, this is kind of like a skinnier side, and then kind of a longer side for the petals, and you'll see that's how the flower is skinnier and longer. So you just line it up. There we go. And take the other one, which is this one. Then you put your top tray on. Oops. And you run it through your machine. Now, like I said, I already did that, so here I have some just to speed things up a little bit today. So now the next thing we want to do is emboss this background. Now, in my other video, I told you something bad, so don't do what I said in the other video for this. So here's my cutting and embossing machine, and let me go out a little bit. All right, so we want to emboss this back. So to do that, we start with the 1 plate again. You always have the 1 plate, and this time we're going to put the specialty plate, which I think is 4. Yes, number 4. There we go. It says right there 4, and we're going to do that. Is going to be the sandwich. All right, so I'm using this embossing folder, and what I told you to do in the last video was to run it through sideways. And guess what? I know this, but I just didn't think it would happen to me. But when you run it through sideways too many times, this top part will crack, and that's where the fold is. So don't do that. Run it through this way. I taped it. I actually ordered a new one. It's the distressed, I think it's called distressed tile, but I really like it, and it's limited because it's in the mini catalog. So unless it makes it to the big catalog next year, I just wanted to have it. So I use it a lot. It's really fun. So all right, so I'm going to put this in here, and instead of running it through this way, see, it doesn't fit this way because of the paper, but if you actually fold it like this, it'll be fine. So that's what I'm going to do. And make sure the fold goes towards the top, and if you want it to be raised up instead of debossed, you want to have the Stampin' Up, the black Stampin' Up going up. Ha, hear that little play on words? Anyway, alrighty, so there we go. We're going to fold that over. Just get rid of my cord here. And there we go. Sandwich it in, and I'm going to emboss it. And so, see, it didn't hurt it at all. Now, see, there is like a gap over here, but it's all right. It's going to be covered up, so you can have a gap, and it'll be fine. All right, so I want to do this now with the, I want to do it again with my little blue copper clay piece that we cut out. And so I'm going to put that back in. Sorry, it's kind of late here, so it's super dark, and hopefully the lighting's okay for this video. I usually try to record during the daylight hours, but it's hard, you know, in the wintertime when it gets light, you know, dark so early. So I do have a ton of lights in my studio, but hopefully it looks all right. All right, so good. I am done with that. I will get it out of here. And I apologize for this video being kind of long, but I wanted to show you exactly how I did it, so I don't get any negative comments from anybody, which is kind of discouraging. Alrighty, so there we go. Now we are ready to assemble. Alright, so I folded that in half, and I'm going to take my bone folder and give it a nice crisp edge. I'll do the same with this one. And there we go. So Mountain Valley. Then this is going to go, oh dang it, you know, I did it backwards. All right, we're going to go with the deboss side. Funny. I didn't follow my own advice, but you know what? It looks all right. It really does. So I'm not really going to worry about it. In fact, this card, I actually debossed the whole thing. This is half and half, but it'll be fine. Alrighty, so before you glue it together, though, you want to take your ribbon, which is somewhere. Oh, this is that beautiful copper clay metallic ribbon, and then the natural ribbon's finally available, so get yourself some. And what I'm going to do is take my Stampin' Seal, and I'm just going to do a little bit there and a little bit there to hold the ribbon down. So flip it back over, and I want it to be in the center. So there we go. So I just want it to tuck underneath my card so it looks, you know, has a nice edge. Alrighty, there we go. And there we go. Okay, so when I emboss, you either need to use a lot of Stampin' Seal, or honestly, I think I prefer to use glue. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use glue here. Why do I feel like this is too big? It's because it is. Alright, I did not trim that down well enough. This should be 4 inches long. Well, I'm really doing a bad job on this video. I apologize, people. All right, I'm going to put that at 4 inches and trim it. So I apparently used 8.5 and forgot to trim it, which means I need to move my ribbon over. But guess what? It's really not that hard to fix these things. I guess I should not quit my day job. But I do really enjoy stamping, and I know if you're watching my video, you enjoy it too, so you totally understand. Okay. That looks better. Okay, it was like way too large. And I'm going to go this way. There, that looks a whole lot better. Okay, so now I'm going to take my glue and just use glue. Either that or you just need to use a lot of Stampin' Seal, or the heavier duty seal, which I don't have any of, so I'm just going to use glue. I honestly prefer using glue for embossed stuff. It just stays nicer, stays on there. Alright, there we go. And I'm going to glue this down here, so we'll do that next. And we're not going to glue this because we want a pocket. So let me just hold this for a second. And so what I'm going to do is use tear and tape for that. Just holding that down for a minute. And I'm going to use it along the bottom. Whatever adhesive you use, it needs to be like very narrow. If you're going to use seal, you need to get it really close to the edge. But this is a little bit stronger adhesive, and that is a pocket. And so when I do pockets, I like to have stronger adhesive because it's going to be you know, manipulated by people pulling in and out the bookmark tag thing, whatever it's called. All right, so let's take this off. There we go. So, I mean, this is not a difficult card. It's just a little more time consuming to make it, but it's totally worth it. I say it's a wow card. I know that my Stamp Club ladies really were excited to make this card. So there we go. All right, isn't that pretty? You really can't tell that one's embossed and one's debossed. At least, I mean, I can barely tell. All right, perfect. So now we get our tag back, and let me glue that. Remember, I said this was 1 by 4 1/4 inches. I think I wrote on this, so yeah, let me do it that way. So I cover that up. Be kind of embarrassing to have somebody get my card with the cutting guides on the back of it. So there we go. The good thing about glue is I didn't do a very good job lining it up, but I just shoved it over and it looks good to me now. And I'm going to take some more of this gorgeous copper ribbon, copper clay metallic ribbon. See if I can thread it in there. And I'm going to just cut it. I don't usually cut it off, but it's just harder in the video not to, so I will. And there we go. You know, I watched a video about tying ribbon yesterday, I think. And she said if you tie it so that the lines go up and down like this, the first half, and then do the second half reverse. So if your right went over left, now your left would go over right. And you should have a perfect square knot. So I haven't tried it. I only watched her video. So we will see if that's true. And yeah, it looks pretty good to me. And then you can just manipulate it. Okay, and then just trim up your tails. And there we go. Those are my sewing scissors for ribbon. All right, but I'm not done. I'm going to put some decorations on it. I am almost done though. These are my flowers that I embossed and cut out. And you could have used designer series paper as well, but for this is what I wanted to do for this card. And I'm going to use glue for this. And we'll start with these two little cone flowers looking flowers. I love cone flowers. I think they're my favorite flower. Just so pretty. And we'll put that atop. I'm going to kind of angle it and hold it for a sec so the glue can get in the cracks. And I'm going to do this one at the bottom next. I'm not going for the middle because if you do the top and the bottom, then you can center the middle and get it to look just right. All right, so hold that down for a sec to get the glue into the cracks. And we're going to put this one in the middle now. We are almost done. And such a pretty card. And hopefully this time you know how to make it, because I actually explained every little step, which is why the video is longer, but you can fast forward it if you want to. Skip stuff that you already know how to do. I'm going to stick that down there. And wouldn't this make a nice card for a dear friend? Or even a gift, you know. It really is nice. So I'm going to actually not... I'll stick it in the... I'm not going to stick it in the pocket yet. Here's what it looks like in the pocket. And if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me an encouraging comment and subscribe to my channel. Have a good day.